wanting to take this civic engagement that we've seen in Kenya for the last 4 weeks. What is your reaction? Do you feel they're bringing back the political rhetorics and reaping where it's not so?
It's a betrayal of the people. So one of the constant factors in the last 20 years has been Raila Odinga. He shook hands with Moi, shook hands with Kibaki, shook hands with Uhuru, now he's doing that with Ruto. But every time he does that, he betrays everyone who was involved in the movement. I covered post-election violence in 2007, and the victims were never compensated. I heard Cyprian say the number was like 7,000 people died, but the government claims about 1,200 people died, but there was no compensation and there was no justice. And the difference between that time and this movement is that one of the things that people are saying in the streets is that we must have accountability, and we must have justice, and we must have reparations. So we must compensate the people who have been killed by the police, and we must get the killer cops to be arrested. On Tuesday, we're going back to the streets to demand Kome to resign. But if you look at Raila Odinga, he has never demanded for those things. Every time he shakes hands and gets a deal, he doesn't talk about compensation for lives or justice for the victims. He moves on. He's a mercenary, actually. Basically, that's what Raila has become over the years. So yesterday I was in a space with his son, and I told him, go and tell your father not to betray his grandkids. Because basically the guys in the streets are actually his grandkids. I can be Raila Odinga's son because I'm the same age with Raila Jr. But the people who are protesting and leading this protest are 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids. And they're saying, we got this. So I'm just telling the politicians, lay off these demonstrations and protests, let these people articulate their own issues. And the thing about dialogue, how do you go dialogue with politicians and it's the kids in the streets? And all they're asking for is the upholding of the Constitution. There's no new ask by these young kids. They're not saying that start new laws. No, they're saying the existing laws work. Implement the Constitution fully. That's where the fight is at. So our ask for everyone who is here and people who can talk to Raila Odinga and online and offline is tell him not to make this movement a barrier issue this weekend. Because what politicians do over the weekend, they go to churches and burials and try to set the agenda of the week. And what they're trying to do, when they do that, they're deflecting young people and make them keep off. Because the reason why they're in the streets, they're saying they're tribeless, they're partyless, and they're leaderless. But the moment someone's trying to insert themselves as their leader, you just spoil everything. So I think it is in bad taste for someone who's not in the streets. In this particular, the last 3 weeks, and people have died to come in and try to speak on their behalf. Those kids know what they want, and they're saying very eloquently and loudly, let them speak for themselves.
Cyprian, from your perspective, you've been at it for long. Perhaps how does the protesters keep the momentum as it is